common subject. Whether you sit down and interview them and just talk to them, or you take blood from them. You have to go to the review and have it sanctioned.
Were they ever given any reparations for that?
They were, though in a lot of cases it was too little too late. Too little too late. Yep. Okay. So, December 7, 1941. What is this? Pearl Harbor. And it's at that point that we officially join the war. Now, things get exciting for women because now we have instituted the draft. We didn't have this before. And essentially what it was is that all of the men who were of age, their social security numbers went into a big pot, just like the lottery, and they were drawn names, drawn numbers. Okay. A lot of people went to enlist of their own will, but a lot of people also ended up coming through the service because of the draft. That's how Elvis ended up doing service. He was drafted. Women are implored to. The government says, we need your help more than ever. Get out of your homes and come work in the factories. We need your help. And again, for the growing middle class of women, this is a big deal. If you were poor, if you were of color, you've always had to work. Always. It wasn't really a question of that. But if you had some kind of affluence, chances were you stayed home. And so now you have the opportunity to collect a paycheck and keep it yourself. Because potentially your husband, your brother, your father is away. They're at war. And so now you're the one who is in charge of maintaining your household and dealing with your own finances. This is a wonderful thing. So the government launches huge propaganda campaigns in order to draw women to these jobs. And I'm sure this is a face that is familiar to you. So here's Rosie. Oh. Here she is, good old Rosie the Riveter. We can do it. This is an oft-used, oft-cited piece of World War II propaganda, right? Here's this strong, tough woman, come join our show, we can do it. And during the early 2000s, Tampax actually appropriated this, and they gave her a tattoo here on her bicep that was actually the Tampax logo. I can remember being in high school, and I had a Rosie the Riveter t-shirt, and I was approached by a young woman who asked me why I was wearing a Tampax ad. I was heartbroken. And then I had to explain to her that I was not, in fact, wearing a Tampax ad. But, you know, Rosie endures with us. We forget that she's a kind of a piece of propaganda because, you know, now especially she has come to embody sort of this hardworking, blue-collar woman spirit, right? Traditionally, at the beginning, factories only wanted married women. They were thought to be less unruly, would cause less dissension in the ranks if men were still working in the factories because they were married, right? They were looking to stray. But of course, unmarried women saw this as a golden opportunity and said, well, we don't want to be left out. So they would go down to their local Five and Dime, their local Woolworths. They would buy a cheap brass ring, put it on, and walk into the factory and say, my husband was drafted, I need a job. And it worked because nobody was really looking at marriage records and things like that at the time. They were like, okay, well, we need another body on the line. Here you go. It was a wonderful time for us. The problem was the war ended. And obviously, we love this idea. And yet, so this is D-Day, June 6, 1944. And then through August through November of 45, the war is brought to its close. And when that happens, the men come home. Yes, there are tremendous casualties, but there are enough men that return to go back to their factory jobs, to go back to their blue-collar lifestyles, where women are told, thanks for your service, but get out. Now it's time for you to go back home.
Quick question.
Yes, please.
Kind of
League or whatever. Do you know A League of Their Own?
Yeah.
Is that during this time too?
Women's
Or is
professional baseball?
that- Yeah.
I believe professional baseball does fall in this time period, the 40s.
Is there a woman?
Yeah, because it was like the same idea where they needed some kind of entertainment.
Right.
So, but then right when the guys came back home, it was kind of.
That's it. We're done. Professional baseball is over for women. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. You are absolutely right. It is